Hello everyone and welcome to our Autumn in Tuscany vlog series. Over 3 episodes, we'll take you on an incredible journey through one of the most romantic places on earth in the heart of Italy. In part 1 of the series, we witnessed the breathtaking beauty and timeless charm of Tuscany, from the medieval allure of Lucca, the tranquil springs of Bagnoviglione, and the absolutely magical UNESCO World Heritage Val di Orcia. This part of Tuscany felt like stepping into a living storybook, the kind you'd want to read over and over. In this episode, we will travel north to the famed Chianti region of Tuscany, where we will explore the region's charming villages and experience the age-old tradition of winemaking at one of the oldest wineries in all of Chianti. So hop along this magical ride as we continue our journey through Tuscany in autumn. The next day we started with a quick breakfast at our agriturismo consisting of local breads, cold cuts, cheese and preserves before heading north to the Chianti region to explore the famous vineyards and villages. We had made a reservation at Castello di Fonterutoli Wine Resort, a stunning estate owned by the Mazzi family since 1435. But before heading to Castello di Fonterutoli, we made 2 quick stops. Our first stop was Montepulciano, a name we had only associated with the wine we've been enjoying for years. Nestled atop a hill, this charming town captivated us with its winding cobblestone streets and ancient alleys. The streets were lined with quaint shops and cafes, and we couldn't resist stopping for a quick coffee. Our next stop was Siena, a city steeped in history and beauty. Siena is a must-visit for anyone traveling to Tuscany. Its medieval charm is best experienced in its iconic Piazza del Campo. A circular piazza where all the narrow alleys converge. The piazza was once the heart of Siena's public life, hosting grand ceremonies and the famous Palio horse race. As we wandered through Siena, the ancient architecture and the vibrant energy of the city transported us back to medieval times. For lunch, we found a cozy spot along a narrow alley with a view of the Torre del Mancia, the main tower of Siena. There's so much to do in Siena that it's easily worth spending a couple of nights here. From exploring its narrow medieval streets to discovering its vibrant culture and history, Siena offers something unique at every turn. Finally, we were on our way to spending some relaxing time at the wine resort. Chianti wine, although quite famous, is not spoken in the same breath as its French cousins. The Mazzi family and their peers in the Chianti region are on a mission to change just that, and we're certain the change is already here. The wines we had the privilege of drinking in Chianti were not just some of the best wines we've ever had, but their history and deep-rooted cultural significance were awe-inspiring. We would urge anyone who claims to enjoy Italian cuisines to pair it with a good Italian wine from Chianti. We arrived at the resort just as the sun was about to set and were immediately guided to an old building that had been beautifully renovated to accommodate guests. The entire resort is a small village steeped in history. The Castello di Fonterutoli estate has been in the Mazzi family since 1435, making it one of the oldest wine-producing families in Tuscany. The village itself is a cluster of stone houses, vineyards and olive groves that exude charm and history at every corner. Our junior suite was designed in the most typical Tuscan style, featuring terracotta floors and large wooden beams that supported the rustic stone structure. The resort also has a fine dining restaurant that we decided to try that evening. Unfortunately, we had a bit too much wine at their wine bar to shoot any footage, but trust us, the restaurant is worth stopping at if you're in the Chianti region. The flavors, paired with exceptional Chianti wine, created a dining experience we won't soon forget. The next morning, we decided to walk around the village and explore the dirt tracks around the olive groves and vineyards to soak in the vast expanse of the estate. After a relaxing start to the day, we had a wine tour booked for the evening, so we decided to drive to the nearby town of Panzano in Chianti for a unique but highly recommended experience for all meat lovers. Chianti is dotted with numerous small towns and villages like Panzano, Greve and Rada, just to name a few. You could spend an entire week in this tiny area of Tuscany and still feel there's a lot more to explore. Our lunch was at Dario Cecchini, a world-famous butcher and restaurateur who has redefined the experience of eating meat. His restaurant offers a one-of-a-kind dining experience that revolves around community dining and the celebration of meat. Seated at large communal tables, we were joined by fellow diners who were mostly locals. The atmosphere was lively and friendly, and it felt like a true celebration of Italian culture. The menu was a set 6-course affair, ending with a delicious grappa and cake that left us filled to the brim. This has been by far one of the most unique meals I've had in my life. The most unique experience. You have like sort of like a community table, anybody can sit and chill with you. You have wine, like literally a gallon, maybe 2 liters actually. And what a meal, my god. Really. So Ankit, how was your experience? It's so full that you can't even speak, your voice is not coming out because there's so much food. After such a hearty and indulgent meal, we felt the need to head back to the resort to give our bodies some time to digest the scrumptious meal before the much anticipated wine tour. One of the most impressive additions to the estate in recent years is their state-of-the-art cellar designed by Agnese Mazzi. Built on 3 levels with 75% of the structure situated underground, this innovative facility extends 15 meters below the ground to create an ideal environment for winemaking and aging. Over 3,000 oak barrels are stored here, benefiting from natural temperature and humidity. The architecture of the cellar ensures a sustainable and eco-friendly approach, blending modern technology with centuries-old tradition. During our visit, we learned about their meticulous winemaking process. The attention to detail at every stage, from soil to bottle, is truly remarkable.
Of the Fonterutoli village, and that village is belonged to one family that still made wine in this area since 1435.
Wow.
So Fonterutoli, the name of the village, it's a name that comes from the Roman Empire, because here the wine, it was already produced until 1435. So the wine is part of the DNA of this area, and they now are 25th generation of the same family, and they were able to keep, as I told you, that connection for 600 years.
We were particularly impressed with their Ser Lago Chianti Classico Reserve DOCG, a standout offering that has garnered accolades worldwide. Our visit concluded with a wine tasting session where we sampled some of their finest creations. It was an unforgettable experience that deepened our appreciation for the artistry of winemaking in Chianti. And just like that, our journey through the Tuscan countryside is coming to an end. But we're saving the best for last.
Ciao, ciao.
In the final chapter of our Tuscany series, we arrive at Florence, our favorite city in the world and the beating heart of the Renaissance. If you thought Florence was just about art and architecture, wait till you see this side of the city. But before we get there, we make a quick stop at a town once known as the Manhattan of Middle Ages, a place where medieval skyscrapers still stand tall, untouched by time. This is the grand finale you won't want to miss. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications and join us for one last unforgettable chapter in our Autumn in Tuscany series. Ci vediamo presto a Firenze. See you soon in Florence.